Dagon, one of the oldest idols mentioned in the Bible, holds a significant place in ancient Mesopotamian history and the religious beliefs of the Philistine people. Alongside Baal, Dagon was considered a prominent deity, often seen as the father of Baal. His existence dates back to 3000 BC, making him one of the oldest gods in Mesopotamia. But before we delve into that, we kindly request you to show your support by liking this video and subscribing to our YouTube channel. The Philistines worshipped Dagon through various rituals and practices specific to their religious beliefs. He held a prominent position in their pantheon as one of the chief deities, revered as a powerful god. While the exact details of their worship are not extensively described in the biblical accounts, historical and cultural context provides some insights. Dagon was commonly depicted as a figure with a human-like upper body and the lower body of a fish, symbolizing his connection to both land and sea. Although the precise nature of their rituals remains unknown, it is likely that offerings, prayers, and possibly sacrifices were involved. The Philistines regarded Dagon as a significant deity, seeking his favor and protection. However, the narrative in the Bible ultimately reveals the futility of their worship and the supremacy of the one true God. The Philistines believed that Dagon could grant them protection, prosperity, and victory in battles. They attributed their triumphs to his favor and power. Despite their convictions, the story of Samson exemplifies the fallacy of their faith in Dagon. Samson, chosen by God to deliver the Israelites from Philistine oppression, fell in love with a Philistine woman named Delilah. Deceived by her, Samson's secret of strength, tied to his uncut hair symbolizing his connection to God's power, was revealed. He became powerless and was captured by the Philistines, brought to the temple of Dagon. The Philistines gathered to offer a great sacrifice to Dagon, rejoicing over Samson's defeat. They credited Dagon for delivering their enemy into their hands. In their mockery, they captured, blinded, and humiliated Samson, making him a source of entertainment during their ceremonies. However, in a moment of desperation, Samson prayed to God for strength, and with God's intervention, he brought down the temple, killing more Philistines in his death than during his life. This triumph exposed the false power of Dagon and highlighted the need for unwavering trust and dependence on God. Similarly, in the book of Samuel, when the Israelites faced the Philistines in battle, they believed the presence of the Ark of the Covenant would ensure victory. However, they were unaware that God had withdrawn his favor. The Philistines emerged victorious, capturing the Ark and placing it in the temple of Dagon. To their astonishment, each morning they found Dagon fallen before the Ark, face down on the ground. After they restored him to his position, the same scene repeated, but this time, Dagon's head and hands were shattered. This series of events demonstrated the power and sovereignty of the Lord over false idols, revealing the futility of placing faith in lifeless images. These accounts serve as reminders to worship the one true God, the living God who reigns over all creation. Placing trust in false gods or idols is futile and misguided. Our devotion should be solely directed toward the Almighty, who deserves our worship and adoration. Let us learn from the defeat of Dagon and allow it to reinforce within us the importance of worshiping the one true God. It is crucial to recognize that the living God, who reigns over all creation, cannot be equated with lifeless idols. The story of Dagon's humiliation and destruction serves as a powerful testimony to the supremacy of the Lord God. In a world where people are prone to placing their trust in material possessions, false ideologies, and transient sources of power, we must remain steadfast in our devotion to the Almighty. It is in Him that we find true strength, guidance, and salvation. The narrative of Samson's triumph over the Philistines reminds us that God's strength is made perfect in our weakness. Even in our darkest hours, when we feel broken, humiliated, and limited, it is precisely then that we can experience the profound strength and grace bestowed upon us by God. Samson's ultimate sacrifice teaches us that when we humble ourselves and surrender to God's sovereignty, He can work mightily through us, even in the face of seemingly insurmountable challenges. The story encourages us to trust in God's power and find strength in our vulnerability, knowing that He can turn our weakest moments into triumphs that bring glory to His name. We are called to learn from the lessons embedded in these accounts, ensuring that our worship is directed towards the one true God. Let us not be deceived by the allure of false gods and idols that promise temporary satisfaction but ultimately lead to emptiness and despair. Instead, may our hearts and minds be devoted to seeking a genuine relationship with the living God. Let our actions, prayers, and offerings reflect our unwavering trust in His power and sovereignty. In doing so, we can experience the true triumph that comes from aligning ourselves with the Almighty and allowing His strength to work through us. As we navigate the complexities of life, may we remember the lessons from the defeats of Dagon and the victories of Samson. Let us draw inspiration from their stories, embracing humility, dependence on God, and unwavering faith. In this way, we can find the strength, courage, and resilience to overcome any challenges we may face, knowing that our trust is placed in the one true God who never fails. In the pursuit of a genuine and meaningful relationship with the living God, we must continually strive to align our lives with His teachings and principles. The defeat of Dagon and the triumph of Samson serve as reminders that God's ways are higher than our own, and His plans are ultimately for our good. As we face the temptations and distractions of the world, we should remain vigilant and discerning, guarding against the allure of false gods and empty idols. The story of Dagon's downfall exposes the emptiness of placing our trust in created things rather than the Creator Himself. It teaches us that true fulfillment and purpose can only be found in wholeheartedly embracing the one true God. Let us also reflect on the significance of humility and dependence on God, as demonstrated by Samson. In his moment of brokenness and vulnerability, Samson turned to God with a heartfelt prayer, acknowledging his need for divine strength. It was through this act of surrender and reliance on God's power that Samson achieved his greatest victory. Similarly, in our own lives, we must cultivate a spirit of humility and acknowledge our dependence on God. In our moments of weakness and limitation, we can find solace and strength in knowing that God's power is made perfect in our weaknesses. By surrendering our own pride and self-reliance, we open ourselves up to experiencing the transformative work of God in our lives. Ultimately, the stories of Dagon and Samson serve as powerful reminders of the supremacy of the one true God. They invite us to examine our own hearts and beliefs, ensuring that our worship is directed solely towards Him. In a world filled with false gods and fleeting idols, we are called to stand firm in our devotion to the living God, who alone is worthy of our worship and adoration. May we constantly seek to deepen our understanding of God's character, His love, and His sovereignty. Let us live out our faith with humility, gratitude, and an unwavering trust in His power to guide, protect, and bring true triumph into our lives. By doing so, we can find genuine fulfillment, purpose, and eternal joy in our relationship with the one true God, who reigns now and forevermore. Thank you for watching our video. If you've enjoyed it, please feel free to subscribe to our channel and stay connected for more insightful content. May God bless you and guide you in all your endeavors.